Lily. Oh, Lily, come here, girl. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Oh, yes. This is the subject of my video today, guys. Good morning. Welcome, welcome. Yes, I hope you're all doing well, and thank you for being here. And please like and subscribe if you like my video or my channel, because it helps a single mom. Every little bit helps, right? Right. So anyway, let's get to it. Yes, this is about pets for the lonely. I personally, I've been living alone since 2019 when my son, or it was 2020 actually, January. Since my youngest son moved out, he was living with me, and then he moved out. Actually, I made him leave. It was time. We were getting on each other's nerves. He's an adult. That's the way it went. But yes, this is about the lonely people who could really benefit from having a pet. And I know a lot of you might say, oh, I don't know about that, I don't know about that. Let me tell you guys something. Since I've been living alone, if it weren't for my dogs that I have now and the dogs I had before that have passed on, after I was living alone, I had 2 other dogs. I can't even imagine my life without them. I simply can't. Their constant companionship and their unconditional love and their protection in terms of dogs, I can't even imagine not having their companionship. When I go somewhere and I come back, it is so wonderful to be greeted by my little dogs. When I'm sitting watching TV or watching YouTube on the TV, I don't watch local TV anymore. I haven't watched that in years. But when I watch something on the TV, they're laying with me, comforting me when I'm sick, when I'm just down and out, times that I have just needed to cry for whatever reason. My little dogs are there. They're by my side. They're resting their head on my lap. They're jumping into my lap so I can hug them and hold them. They give a tremendous amount. Come here, baby. Come here. She's trying so hard. Come on. You're not going to make it that way. Come on. They give so much for so little in return. All they want is a little love, to be cared for. And it gives you something to do, guys. When you have a little pet, it gives you something to do. You have to feed him, you have to take care of him. I bathe mine. I don't take him to groomers. I don't want to put him through that kind of stress. So I bathe mine. And they're little, so it's easy. Now, if you have a bigger dog, yeah, I can understand taking him to a groomer. But I bathe mine. And they give you something to look forward to each day. And when I go to bed at night, it is so wonderful to have them just snuggle up with me on my right side. They're all curled up and snuggled, and it feels so good to have that wonderful little body, these little bodies right next to me. Because as you well know, when you live alone, it can get pretty lonely sometimes. And even when it's not a lonely time, it's just wonderful to have them around. I highly suggest, if you're living alone and you don't have a pet, get a pet. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a dog and a cat. Let's say you're still working, okay? And you wouldn't be there for a dog and a cat all day. Well, you can get other pets that just give you something to think about, something to take care of. A bird, an aquarium. There are people who love lizards, I mean, from what I've seen, lizards can be very, very have a lot of interaction with you. Lily, girl. And it just gives you something to think about besides being alone. It's just one of those things, guys, that a lot of people don't think about when they're lonely. They don't think a pet's going to make much difference. It makes a huge difference. I cannot imagine my daily life without my dogs, without having dogs. I just can't. Because there are times in living alone when you just feel lonely. You know, a normal person just feels a little lonely. Everybody goes through it. I don't care what anybody says. There are times when I don't care if it's just a minute, you think, and then these dogs come around and they want to play and they'll ask for their treats, or I'll tell them, let's go get a treat, and they get all excited and they run to where I have their treats. They just provide so much company that I can't imagine life without them. Maybe if you know somebody who's living alone or just lonely, and it doesn't necessarily mean living alone. You know, there are so many situations in which people feel lonely. They can be in a relationship and be lonely. They can be a caregiver. Maybe you know someone who's a little older and they're a caregiver and they're just lonely because things aren't the way they used to be. A pet can make a big difference. It can really change, you know, a lot how you feel. Excuse me, about your daily life. Maybe talk to somebody who is, let's say somebody's retired and elderly. Doesn't have to be someone who lives alone. Maybe it's a couple. Maybe you know an elderly couple that's still able to take care of a pet. Obviously, if somebody's bedridden or wheelchair-ridden, they might not think they can, you know, or they just might not be able to take care of a pet. But if you know somebody who would be able to take care of a pet and they're going through some lonely times, talk with them. Suggest them. Maybe they'd like a dog or a cat. Because dogs and cats, I specifically state them because you can love them and they can love you. You can hold them, you can pick them up. And yeah, I know there are people out there who they hold their big lizards and their snakes. I can't even imagine having a snake. But there are people who love their snakes and lizards and their reptiles. And that's fine too. I mean, you know, they love them, they love them. It doesn't matter. You know, everybody's different, thank goodness. And some people love cats and dogs, some love birds, some love reptiles, some love fish. But it's nice to have a pet. So maybe talk to somebody or a couple who is lonely. And it doesn't necessarily mean elderly either. Just somebody who's feeling lonely. Maybe it's a couple that, you know, they're just kind of lonely, just them together. I've seen many, many videos where the kids surprise the father or the mother with a puppy or a kitten, or I would never want a puppy or a kitten. No, no little ones. They're just too hard. That's another little suggestion. I wouldn't suggest giving a puppy to anybody unless you have a real good talk with them, if that's what they want, because puppies require a lot of work, and I will never have a puppy again. The dogs I've gotten over the years are older. You know, they're not puppies anymore. Not old dogs, and there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe get a senior dog or cat that needs a home. You know, give it a good life till the end. But when it comes to puppies, and I don't have patience for puppies and kittens at this stage of my life. I did that years ago. I would get puppies when my kids were young, that type of thing. And I particularly am a dog person. I'm not much of a cat person. That's just me. Plus, I'm highly allergic to cats. I mean, I am very allergic to cats. And, here. And for me, I did have 2 cats in my lifetime, or actually 3 cats in my lifetime. And it just wasn't for me. The way they scratch everything, the way they're jumping on top of everything, pushing things off, knocking things down. Cats they're not for me. And plus being extremely allergic, they're definitely not for me. So for me, it's dogs. But, you know, maybe talk to somebody who it might do them some good to have a pet. If you know somebody who's just feeling lonely and they feel like, you know, maybe an empty nester family, couple or woman or man, where the kids have left home. My dogs basically replace my kids. Yes, I'm being honest, they do. They replace my kids. And I don't get any back talk. I don't have to worry about them being out. I don't have to be scolding them for being bad, you know, that type of thing. I don't have to be sitting up at night worrying, where are they, you know? Yeah. So I would say they have replaced my kids. But they are tremendous. They can help you mentally. They can help with depression. They can help with anxiety. That's why they have the service dogs. You know, everybody knows about service dogs. You see people with them in the stores. You see people with them walking where they have their little service jackets or service things on to show that they're a service dog, because they do provide a strong sense of security. They really do. My dogs may be little, but I'll tell you what, they are darn good watchdogs. They hear things I never hear. And I'll look out the window and I'll be like, oh, there's somebody walking by. Had no clue. And if somebody comes to the door, they are there. They're there to charge. Literally, like this way. They're there to charge. They're ready to protect. And it gives me a good sense of feeling. That happened to me one night, as a matter of fact, quite a while back. It was like 2 in the morning. And all of a sudden, both Pixie and Lily sat up and started growling and barking. They woke me up, and they were sitting there, you know, with that kind of growl. And I thought, ooh, that's the kind I don't like. And so I got up, and I looked out the windows. I didn't see anything. However, they kept growling and barking. So it kept me alert. They kept me alert to something out there. Don't know what, but something. So yeah, they're good protection, and pets have saved people's lives, literally. They have prevented them from committing suicide because they're in such depression. They're a lot more than just some dogs to have, you know, or cats to have to throw outside. No, my dogs are total house dogs. I can't stand people who get a dog and leave it outside, or who get a cat and it's forever wandering. That drives me crazy. I don't like that. My dogs are house dogs. They go out in the yard, of course, but they're like 99% house dogs. They're on their couch, they're in their bed, they're wherever. They're my babies. And I think I would be in deep depression if it weren't for my dogs. I really do, because I live alone, and sometimes it gets to me. I mean, I'm being honest. I'm not one of these people who, you know, I just love living alone. It's wonderful. No, that's not me. Sometimes it gets pretty lonely. And these little guys make a huge, huge difference. So, yeah, if you're watching this and you're feeling lonely because you live alone, or maybe you're just in a circumstance with whoever you're living with that you still feel alone, consider getting a pet, and I highly suggest a cat or a dog, because you can love them, you can hold them, kiss them, squeeze them, play with them. You know, they can be a part of your life. You can take your dogs for walks, which can help tremendously with depression and anxiety. You can play with them. You can just hold them and love them, which helps tremendously. I can't imagine life, and that's why, if I ever did get involved with a man again, if he didn't absolutely love, and I mean love, dogs, he's out the door, he's gone, he's history. I dated a man once. He was a wealthy man. Any of you who have followed me know about the attorney I dated. I'll never forget the night he came to pick me up, and one of my little dogs I had at the time, her name was Scamper. She was a miniature Sheltie. She came up to greet him, and he backs up and looks down at her, and he's just backing up. And I looked at him, I said, what's wrong? And he's like, well, I don't want her fur to get on my suit because it's an Armani suit. Ugh, talk about a dud. So, yeah, not my kind of guy. He has to be an absolute animal and pet lover, and if not, he wouldn't have a chance with me. No. And he can't be one of these guys who, oh, they can't be on the furniture, they can't be on the bed, they can't do this, they can't do that. My dogs have free roam of the house because this is their home. And I like that. I love knowing that they're part of my life. I don't have them separate as dogs. They're part of my life. So, yeah, think about it, guys. If you're feeling lonely, if you're just kind of lost, which can happen, especially if you live alone, consider getting a pet. And like I said, it doesn't have to be a dog or a cat. It can be many types of pets. People love them. I knew somebody many years ago that I used to work with, many years ago. She had an apartment full, or it was a rental house, full of reptiles. Oh, she loved her reptiles. Snakes and lizards of all kinds. I mean, she had all kinds of reptiles. She loved them. She was just in love with them. And she would just sit there and hold them, and they'd crawl on her. That was her thing, you know. I mean, that was her love that was the pets she loved. And she lived alone. And this is back when I was in my 20s. So yeah, I would suggest, think about it, guys. Pets can make a huge difference, because I cannot imagine my life without this one and my other one. And then today, I'm still doggy sitting a friend's dog, and she's wonderful company too. So I have 3 little dogs, or 2 little dogs and 1 big one. But think about it, guys. Pets can actually save your life. It can take you out of depression and anxiety. It can give you something to look forward to. It can give meaning to your life. They can give true meaning to your life. For me, it's dogs. For you, it's whatever you like. So I just wanted to suggest that and talk about how it can really make a huge, huge difference in your life. And it depends on the dogs too. I can leave my dogs for several hours, 5, 6, 7 hours. They never mess in the house. And they're not in a cage. They're just trained for some reason. I didn't even train them. They just know. So even if you have like little part-time jobs, say 3, 4 hours, a dog can be left alone for that with no problem. And a cat, of course. So anyway, guys, I think my camera's running out. So take care, and I will talk to you later. See you in my next video. Have a good one. Bye-bye. Oh, very good, Lily. You did the perfect little stage actor there. There's my little pixie. I will show you real quick. Oh, what baby? She's on her blankie. I have to move the whole tripod because of this type I got, darn it. Can't just pop my camera off. But there's my pixie. She's the other little angel. Without them, I'd be lost. Think about it, guys. A pet can really, really make a difference in your life, no matter what your age. Take care. Bye-bye.